Hello, 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 my darlings. Well, it's Friday in Atlanta. Mm, 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 mm. And, you know, back in the day, Friday in Atlanta really meant But now we're 65 and older. What does it mean? Well, it means you can still shimmy, 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 but not maybe as much as you want to. But I still think you should do something. I don't have get up today. No get up, no get up, no get up. Because I'm on my way to a service for the sorority, and we don't get up when it's a service. So Pearl's conservative. This is about as conservative as I can get, but it's conservative. No, you know, no foo-foo. I'm a foo-foo queen. Anyway, and also while I'm on a serious note, I have not talked about this book right here. You can't see it. I think it's turned around, but it's my daughter's book. And I think I talked about it briefly when I talked about when I was taking chemo, that infusion chemo. You sit at Emory. I was at Emory, Midtown. Oh, Winship Cancer Center. Not the nice new fancy one that they have going on now, but it was still good. Christian was my nurse. I think his name was Christian. Anyway, one of the nurses. I don't know how they do it. Oncologist, chemo nurse. I think my soror Deborah Thompson is that kind of nurse. I don't know how you interact with us. We're doing the best we can. You're trying to save our lives. And so I thank all of you out there. I thank the medical field, the medical teams, and the oncologist nurses. Because we got the port. You got to talk to us. We're up there. We're trying to save our lives. You're trying to help save our lives, and it's hard for me to talk about. But anyway, I don't even know how I got to that. I will now know, because one day somebody was reading this book, and it's my daughter's book. And I said, "You have my daughter's book?" And the one of the nurses says, "Well, a lot of the people who come in here read this book." So my daughter went up and signed some books. And it's called Lord Have Mercy. How many times have we said, Lord have mercy? And then Evelyn Sanders Swafford says, 5 go-to prayers when you need to pray, but don't know what to say. You need to get this book. Find www.Albelyn, Albelyn, ALBELYN.com. This book will carry you through 5 prayers. When you just run out of prayers, I want you to get this book. It just came to me that I saw it. I was walking through the house. God works in a mysterious way. And messages are given to me to give to you. I used to tell my students that I have a message for someone in the class. I don't know who it's for, and I don't know what the message is. But whatever I say, you will know the message. And I will have students come up to me after a semester and say, I got my message. So there's a message today for somebody that needs prayer out there. I don't know who you are. We need prayer every day, but somebody needs this book. Lord have mercy. And so I'm going to plug in my daughter because I don't, listen, Evelyn doesn't plug herself either. But it's some good stuff in here. And I want you all to get this book. Lord have mercy. Get this book. All right. So now, how I'm going to transition from the Lord have mercy, from the chemo, to my subject for the day. God have mercy on me. Please forgive me. I made a list of nightclub life. Oh, Jesus. 1960 to 1980. Now, I have the nerve to be talking about nightclub life. I need people who are from Atlanta, born and raised in Atlanta people. So I need Archbishop John Lewis or Morocco Coleman. I need some folks who are born and raised in Atlanta. And so, but I didn't get a chance to speak with them today. Dr. Rosin Harper, Dr. Carolyn Wyatt. I need some folks that's born and raised in Atlanta. Alexa Scott, some real Atlantans. Sue Ross, I saw her last night. Sam Burston, oh my God. Go over to Clark Atlanta University Gallery and see Sam Burston's piece on Nina Simone, whom I met, who I drove in my car. Remember that story back in one of my other ones? When I went to pick her up with Jamelia Kennedy. We don't know how we got the job to go pick her up. That was before Lyft, before Uber. Somebody said, go pick up Nina Simone. I said, okay. I mean, the Nina Simone. I didn't know what to say to her. We were just like, we got Nina Simone in the car. And we just, anyway, I didn't tell Sam that. But anyway, Sam Burston did a fabulous job on that piece. I want my copy signed. Let's go on where we're going with this. So I'm not from Atlanta. I came here to go to Spelman. I married an Atlantan, and my friends were Atlantans immediately. And so I learned a few things, but I got to talk about these places. So if you're 65 and older, I want you just for a minute, remember what you were doing when somebody said, let's go to the Palladium Club. Let that sink in. Palladium Club. You know what I liked about back then? See, you all are partying now. You're having a great time. We got a lot of fabulous places in Atlanta. But we didn't have many places because it was segregated. But it was still good. We did all right. Come on, Vivica. We did all right. Anyway, the Palladium Club is where people would have their dances, and it was BYOB. You had to pay for a setup. Y'all, oh, I can't even get it out. I'm loving this so much. A setup. You don't even know what a setup is. You pay for a setup. So you came with your little cart of stuff. Your liquor and your sandwiches and whatever else you had in that little thing. And then, but you had to pay for a setup. And so you had to pay for the ice and the cups. You could have your own cups, but you're going to pay $50 or $40 to get all that. But what's wrong with paying $40 when you done brought everything else from home? The liquor, you got all the liquor you can carry. You see, and all the sandwiches and all the food and Palladium Club. BYOB. Bring your own bottle. They didn't even have to have a liquor license. You see what I'm saying? They didn't have to have a liquor license, people. All they had to do was have a license to have a place for people to meet. Because you brought your own bottle, they just provided the setup. That's a pretty good idea. I kind of like that for the place I want to have. I got a place I want to have, but I'm going to need a liquor license. And it's going to be hard for me to get that liquor license with Reverend Evelyn Sanders Swafford and Reverend Raymond Bernard Swafford as my daughter and her husband. The mama need a liquor license. I'm going to have to find me somebody else get that liquor license. But I got an idea that nobody's doing. 2 people know about this. And so, Georgia, nobody's done that. Anyway, let's talk about, so you know where you were, 65 and older, the Palladium Club. Where were you, let me see, where's the next one? Where were you at the Lincoln Country Club? Doesn't that sound grand? The Lincoln Country Club. By the cemetery, right? Best parties in Atlanta. How do I know all of this? Because I hung out with the Atlanta people. And we were all young one time. 65 and older. Do you remember the Lincoln Club? Lincoln Country Club, excuse me. And the Palladium Club. I wish Archbishop was here or Morocco. But anyway, I would never get through the list. And I have to go to my ceremony. Okay, let's get to the third one. The living room. OMG. I had the nerve. I must have been divorced by then. and I had never been over here. And nobody I knew had been to a place called the living room, but we heard about it. So I thought I was now divorced. I would take my happy self over to the living room. It took me all of maybe a minute, maybe 60 seconds to recognize that I didn't belong in the living room. I said, "Oh, you need to try to find the exit, baby girl. These not your people, and they don't know you." The living room was that old Atlanta. Come on, talk about it. Write some notes down there. Subscribe and write some notes. Palladium Club, Lincoln Country Club, and the living room. You didn't go up in the living room. Who told me that I could go up in the living room? That was deep, deep, deep Atlanta. That was old Atlanta. That was deep, old number runners. I think Rosin had a good word for that. For number runners, we had our own economic system. Write that word. If somebody called Rosin Harper, Dr. Harper, ask her what was the phrase she used for the economy we had, because we had a different economy than everybody else. And we had number runners in Gary, Indiana. So don't think it was just a black community, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, let's talk about the living room. I didn't go back. All right, the one that I thought was just exciting to have in Atlanta. Do you remember the Pussycat Club? Why did I think that was exciting? Because that meant we had what they had. They had the Playboy Club. And on Simpson Road, oh, it was a big deal. It had the big lights. I think Maynard was there. Yeah, I think so. Because I was there for the opening. Why was that? And I was married at that time. Y'all get these dates together. I didn't look up any of this. I just came up with it last night, and I was writing them down today. The Pussycat Club. They had the ladies in the cages. It was dancing, go girl. I was doing the go girls time, and people having fun and laughing, and See, my in-laws had a juke joint down there in Sparta, Georgia. My in-laws had a juke joint. Now, if you don't know what a juke joint is, that's the real fun. They had I remember the first time they gave me something in a mason jar. Okay. We won't talk about that mason jar. But if you're 65 and older and from the South, then you know what's in a mason jar. It was clear. All right. The Pussycat Club. All right, let's go to another club. The Crow's Nest. Not the Crow's Nest you all know out on Old National Highway. I'm talking about the Crow's Nest that was up by Peyton Road, I think. That was a cute little spot. It was cute in there. It was cute. But I'm gonna get to my main one. I'm gonna skip all the way through till I get to the pièce de résistance. Let's go to Old Ted's. I remember there was a reception at Old Ted's, and I don't know why I had Evelyn with me. She was a little girl, and I need to go to that reception. Her dad like they had a fit because he had more sense than I did on that. But I said, "Oh, let me run by this reception. Come on, little girl." My daughter one day asked me, could we not go to any more receptions? She had recepted out. Because kids, they just go with you. You just say, come on. You got to stay with me because I don't know. I had one child. And, I'm like, come on. But anyway, I was married at the time and I couldn't, something was going on. I said, I just need to go by there. I think I was just going by there. And her dad, I think, came looking or something because we didn't have cell phones. And he said, "Well, I said, well, I was just going by here. It was a reception. It wasn't like, but it was in Old Ted's. What did they change Old Ted's to? Write that at the bottom. Old Ted's used to be, no, Old Ted's turned into something. And then what about Marcos? You all don't know nothing about Marcos. You know they putting the club up down here on Childress and Campbellton Road. That used to be a grocery store. We had a grocery store on Childress. When it was the other people living over here, they had a grocery store. And then when the other people left, it turned into Marcos. That was a good little club. It was nice. I think they had food in there you could eat and drink. Not bad. Oh, I left out one. What's that one up there on Delow? One up Delow by the beauty shop. It's still up there. I think it's the 121 Club now. I'm not sure. There's something about it I didn't like. It was too small, too tight up in there. You couldn't see anything. It was too dark. But people love it though. Now let me tell you, my crew still goes up there. I got a crew that goes up there. You know, I got different friends everywhere. You know, and I got a good friend work with me at Delta Airlines, and I call her name, Fine Sister. They dance up there on Thursday nights. The bop. No, they don't call it the bop. When I was growing up, it was called a bop. Everybody could bop. You learned that. That was like, you know, like you learn to brush your teeth. Everybody could bop in Gary, Chicago, Hammond, East Chicago. That was a given. St. Louis. Everybody could bop. They call it stepping now. Stepping. Okay. So anyway, that's Marcos. Marcos, the club up there where S&S Cafeteria used to be. All right. Oh, Dots. Now, I was gonna say there was a time when in Atlanta you can go in any club you weren't gonna get shot. You ain't doing the shooting in Atlanta. Now you might get cut. Now you might get cut at Dots though on Simpson Road. I went in there one time. I just wanted to see what was going on in there. It didn't take me but one time to go in there. I was like, no, you know, I was like, no. And then, of course, the Wallahaji was where we had events. But what was the club? Come on, number one club, where Rose, I met this wonderful woman named Rose. She was like 19. She was the bartender. Then McQueen ran the door. Then it was called Mr. B's Figure Eight. Oh, my. See, young people, they're not probably watching this. They don't know nothing about having fun like Mr. B's Figure Eight. The music was right. They might have some places like that. I shouldn't say that. And everybody was just fine in there. All the women were fine. All the men were fine. Everybody was young. And they had airline night. Oh, airline night was F to the I to the N to the E. That's when Eastern was going on. You know I was in there for airline night. I like to dance, you see. And people used to laugh to say, you know, Georgianne doesn't drink. I wouldn't drink in these clubs. No. You don't know what you're drinking. You don't know, I don't know, back then they put stuff in the drink, but I never liked alcohol like that. I don't know when I got to where I like Crown Royal. I just tasted one day. I was like, I like that. So that's my drink after age 77. Yeah. But let's talk about Mr. B's. Mr. B's Figure Eight. You know what's missing? A documentary on Mr. B's. I found one little clip, but I really wish we could talk about it. I remember when all the dignitaries went up there. You know, the who's who of Atlanta went to Mr. B's. You brought people to Atlanta. And when they came to Atlanta, the stop was Mr. B's. And Old Ted's. It was just well done. I think you could eat in there. I don't remember if you could get something like you can now. And what club would be like that now? Mr. B's. Mr. B's Figure Eight. It was a legend. It was big. It was beautiful. People had fun in there. Generations of dancing. You know, we had to come out of there. You had to come out of there once you saw the people you taught school. You had to come out. You know, once you see your students in the club, it's time for you to come out. I don't care how good you look. Out. So anyway, I really miss Mr. B's. I think we should do maybe a documentary. Did I leave one off? Oh, wait. Mr. B's was equal to, it was later, but I'm going to tell you what came before that. The Royal Peacock. Man, my husband and I, we went down to see Aretha Franklin. We paid a whopping $5. Yes, we did. It was memorable. And you know what else I left off? Pasco's La Carousel. What was interesting about La Carousel? You couldn't get in there for white people. We couldn't go to not one of their clubs, not one. But we had the best Ahmad Jamal. Oh my God. The top jazz artists. And here come all the white people. They all were over on Hunter Street at the time, which is Martin Luther King. I know I work for the school that owns Pascal's. And I know the present president is a smart man. I like him. I'm sure he's figuring out what to do with that property in a way that it should be memorialized. I like to see it refinished like it was and be a museum or a place where people come and see where Dr. King and all the civil rights people sat. Because you could go there any day and see Dr. King any day you want to. He had the same booth, so memorialize that booth. And Miss Sherman, oh Miss Sherman, darling, that she would rub you, hey darling, hey darling. Oh, I love Miss Sherman. I felt like she was only in love with me. She was in love with everybody. But when she spoke to you, she was in love with you. She gave you her attention. She was just a charming, beautiful woman. I love Miss Sherman. I don't know if we have any history like that now. Do we have any place like that now? If we go if you go to Pascal's, don't forget we have Miss Frazier's. Miss Frazier had a place in the Busy Beaver. I started out with the clubs. I think I would like to see us do. There's some filmmakers, maybe my 65 and older. Some of y'all are filmmakers. Some of you all still got a film in your heart. Some of you have the wherewithal, the money to do the film. You need to do this film. We need to call it Club Life. I got the title of it. I'll be the executive producer with you. In name. It's my idea, but history is everybody's. Doesn't just belong to Georgianne, But I would like to be somewhere that's working on a movie. Because Club Life. You could take it from when the Peacock opened. And then, there's some places I didn't talk about on Auburn Avenue that old Atlanta knows. And there's some places probably down Simpson Road that I didn't know. We were concentrated on the west side. There may have been a place over in the Joyland Carver Homes section, maybe, but I don't know if they were prominent like these places I'm talking about today. But if we don't document our history, who else? If nothing else, just document it right now. I'm documenting it right now. I've called out the names. I have called the roll as far as I know. There's more roll to call, but I got a roll call going on right here of places in Atlanta that Black people enjoyed. We didn't shoot up anybody. We had a grand time. It was our place of fun, and we should applaud it. We should write about it. We didn't have cell phones back then, so we don't have a lot of pictures maybe. But maybe somebody has done a book on the Club Life. Come on, somebody. Do a book on Club Life. Just dedicate it to me or something. Or do a documentary on Club Life. Because Georgianne Thomas is doing Club Life today on her show, A Slice of Life, on the 21st or 22nd of September in 2023. Because we need to say something about who we are and who we were in order to leave a foundation for who we may become or who is coming. Mm-hmm. So once again, I'm gonna call the roll. And when I call the roll, I want you to do a little shimmy. I want you to write something down because you remember the Palladium Club, Lincoln Country Club, the Living Room, the Pussycat Club, Crow's Nest, Old Ted's, Marco's, Dots, the Wallahaji, the Royal Peacock, Pascal's La Carousel, and last but not least, Mr. V's Figure Eight. Mm-mm. Well, you know it's Friday. You know Georgianne doesn't work on the weekend. And so at this point, I will see you on Monday. Now, I may have to work this weekend because my museum is opening October 1. So I think Beverly Maddox gave me an assignment. So I may have to work on the weekend for that. And then I have some papers to grade. Yes, I do. Because I had assignment due this week. Yes. So I need to go see what they're doing also. But you know, it's our history. Don't let somebody else come in and document your history. Why won't you take care of your own history? You take care of your own family, take care of your own history. This is our stuff. This is Atlanta. This is the Wakanda that people don't know. Tell people. Because I always remember Mr. V's Figure Eight. Hey, Mr. V, I love you. All of you. And you can't do anything about it. Have a good weekend.